revered monks, nuns and other monastic members, the devotees and the admirers of this Ramakrishna movement. Sri Ramakrishna was against any occult power. But throughout his life we find there is occult power in some other form. As for example, while he was at Kashipur, at the time he had the vision that he has covered some long distance across the ocean and come to a country where there are so many devotees whose complexion is white, and they were taking care of him so much. That time we do not know whether Sri Ramakrishna could understand anything, because certainly he did not have any geographical knowledge about some countries beyond these oceans. And when he communicated this message to Holy Mother, she also simply heard of it. Nobody paid any importance to this information. But afterwards, slowly, when Swami Vivekananda came here and he was accepted and rather discovered by America, Swami Vivekananda, till he was moving in India, in some corners, by some intellectual persons or some spiritual persons, he was thought to be some exceptional brilliant. But that his brilliance was of such a high dimension, that thing was first discovered by America. So America, in those who are the lovers of Vivekananda, to them America has become a place of pilgrimage, whole America. Because it was that they could find out the talent within Vivekananda. Afterwards, Vivekananda came, he delivered talks, and gradually he felt the need of bringing some of his brother disciples. Probably came Abhedananda Swami, came Hari Maharaj Tulyananda Swami, Saradananda Swami, and Trigunatītananda Swami. These three persons came. So long Vivekananda was there, he had his charisma, so eloquence, and his own some admirers and devotees were there. They became his, to some extent, his personal guardian, friends, and philosophers sometimes. But afterwards, when Swamiji was absent and others were here, that was a very tough time for them. They had to struggle so much to be established. To start any center, it was very, very difficult task. But they did it painstakingly and slowly with the blessings of Lord, as well as the cooperation and support of the local people here, they could begin something. The next generations, they were the direct disciples. They have seen some fire. They got the inspiration from Swami Vivekananda. So they had some strength, some spiritual strength they had. Afterwards, the next generations came. They were not the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. They were the disciples either Holy Mother or Raja Maharaj, Brahmananda, or some other Mahapurush Maharaj. In that way, they came. They knew that we are not having that support of God as our predecessors had. So they had to rely and depend on the mercy of God, because they did not have that exuberance, either spiritual or intellectual, nothing of that sort. And in this foreign country, in this foreign culture, foreign environment, foreign challenges, they had to struggle. So they had one thing they had, that total surrender to God. They relied everything on God and at the mercy of God. In that way, because they could not apply their own this personal capacity or integrity. That was not possible in this some alien situation. So they had only support was the dependence on God. Extreme dependence, total surrender. They used to think, seek the blessings of Raja Maharaj, seek the blessings of Mahapurush Maharaj, seek the blessings of Baburam Maharaj. And that was their only strength and that was their only capital. With that capital, they came, they fought, they struggled. I came to know in one center, the Swami, he was not having his food. Practically, he did not have his food almost for 2 days. And he was feeling, what shall I do? Shall I wind it up, or shall I pack up and go back? Or what should I do? And that just at that time he could find that some knocking is there and somebody is coming with some check or some provisions or something like that. So then these some sort of incidents spell out that some other force is helping them. Some other force is helping them. And slowly in the same process, today we have come to this stage. So we should have to accept it, that here some mysterious hand is working. If we go through our own lives as a monastic members, each and every one of us, when we go through, we will find that certainly in our this coming to this fold, somewhere, someday, some form, some mysterious hand worked. Some magic was there. We cannot give an explanation whether it was magic or it is grace of God or what it is, or it's some accidental coincidence or it is my karma fall. What it is, I cannot spell out. But something happened. The same thing happened in each one of you. Each one of your life. Sometimes something happened. This sometimes something, this we call it the God's hand. This is we call God's hand. How it functions, nobody can spell out. But it happens. That also you cannot deny. You cannot say that nothing happened in my life, you can say, but I cannot explain why it happened, but happened. And this is we call that generally this holy company. This we call holy company. That means coming in touch with somebody when we feel ourselves elevated. That is called this holy company. Swami has in his Raja Yoga, he has mentioned who creates the temple. The devotees, they create the temple. It is not that before this consecration, what it was. Simply the masons came, or the electrician or engineers, they came and they gave it a structure. It may be some auditorium, it may be a cinema hall, it may be some other function, professor's lecture pulpit, anything may be something it was there. But afterwards what we find, that some holy persons came, they consecrated, offered something, and it was declared open. The moment it was declared open, immediately along with it, some persons of the like-minded, they came and they started coming, and slowly, some spiritual vibrations were created. And that spiritual vibrations which accumulated by the devotees, And the devotees themselves, as well as the monastics, they are reaping the harvest out of it. This is this temple, and in this way we come together. And as a result, it is intensified. This collective, each one of us, we can just worship God in our own chapel, in a private chapel, in our home. Everyone is having some niche. For some, it may be Ramakrishna, maybe Ramchandra, Gopal, Christ, Buddha, whatever may be the thing. Everyone is having. But that is one thing. But here to come, that means I am getting the benefit of X, Y, Z. Their spiritual vibrations, I am getting the benefit of it. So this is accumulation. And this is we call this holy company. By God's grace, I should say that as he has mentioned, that I had the opportunity, good opportunity, privilege to serve with some senior monk. He was Holy Mother's disciple. And by coincidence, I should say, this Paramashananda Maharaj, one book some of you might have gone through, the Go Forward. That Go Forward is not a book. It was not written by Paramashananda Maharaj. It was a compilation of some letters and writings which he used to write to so many young persons. And those letters or writings, write-ups, those things have been accumulated, collected, and afterwards those things have been published. Here also, Suhitananda Swami was the instrumental. He himself, those of you who have gone through Go Forward, you have seen that how many letters you can get addressed to Bipada Bhanjan in that name, pre-monastic name, and letters written by Paramashananda Maharaj. He was trying to give him shape while he was a schoolboy. From that time onwards, he picked him up and tried to give him the shape, and ultimately he got the shape and came to this country. Our coming here, because I was also with Maharaj, and our Sarvadevan Swami also, we two together, sometimes occasionally we served Paramashananda Maharaj. So we have got another friendship also in that way, some common cause, some cultural friendship we have. Swananda Swami also sometimes used to go, and generally everybody pays attention to the Paramashananda Maharaj or some senior Swami whom everybody is serving. But Swananda Swami had another corner. He generally used to say that if Maharaj is in need of anything, you don't hesitate to tell me. And simultaneously, he used to pay attention to the well-being of us also. He used to say, see, everybody will look after Paramashananda Maharaj, but nobody will look after you. So I want that whatever you want, your food, your dress, or anything, whatever you want, without any reservation, you simply write to me, and from any source I will just make arrangement. So thus you can see that what sort of dimension he had. This is a unique feature. And this man, Swananda Swami, he one day told me that, see, I have got so many letters, and I collected some letters also. And I feel while I giving classes, if these classes and these letters will be very useful for them, especially the monastic members here, nuns and monks who are there. For all of them, it will be very useful. So, can you help me? That means I'd like to have more such letters or more such write-ups. Can you help me? I said, yes, easily I can do, because I know what the persons these letters are addressed to. So I can give you the names, and if you contact them, you will get plenty of letters. So these plenty of letters came up, and writers have also compiled, and he gave it the shape of a book. And that has helped me. Of course, once he suggested that I should, before it comes to the press, I should go through the manuscript once, whether everything is in just the right spirit. So I went through, and those things have come up. So thus we find that we are having some sort of common bondage. Swananda Swami, myself, as well as Sarvadevananda Swami. And there are others also. But we three had particularly some common bondage is there. So it is some, for you and for me and for others also, I would say, it is some advantage. Now about the other, I could have talked about Premashananda Maharaj. Yesterday night I talked about him. So I don't like to repeat so many things. Occasionally, here and there, if by a chance comes, I will mention. Otherwise, we like to mention about other monks whom I came in touch. Premashananda Maharaj, he gave up his body in 69, 67 March. And afterwards, 69 March. Afterwards, I went to the training center. Training center means Belur for training purpose. While I came, at that time I had the opportunity to meet on some monastic members here and there. About them, they are not of so glaring as these persons were, but they are not less glaring. I would like to mention some of them, and my acquaintance or incidents happened to me. Bharat Maharaj or Abhayananda Maharaj, I like to mention about him. Bharat Maharaj, he was apparently a very stiff personality. People are afraid to meet him, to talk to him. But once you go to him, you will find that this mother is there. The motherhood is working in him. I had the opportunity to write some letters for some personal letters. He used to call me, and I used to write down. So I could see the man from close quarters. And once he called me and asked me, some important letter is to be written, can you come? Yes, Maharaj, I shall come this time, I shall write. I came, and he simply just gave me the points. These are the points, you would just write it. And that letter is to be addressed to the President of the Order. And it was a very important letter, and very confidential also. I wrote it, and then I just said, Maharaj, let me read out. Please listen to it. No. Have you written? Yes, I have written. Give me the pen. He put his signature. Then I was feeling a little nervous because such an important letter, and without getting, so I said, Maharaj, let me read again then. So I read it anyhow, but he did not say. Simply not only that, he asked me, here there is this gum, you paste it, and take this letter and drop it into the letter box. That distrust he had, on the moment he has given some responsibility to somebody, how much trust they can have on that person. That was, and henceforth I became very much alert for my every tidbit activities. That means such a trust they are having on their just juniors. This man, Bharat Maharaj, he used to just loving person, and some important persons of the society, they used to come to him. The then chief minister, whom you may be knowing, some of you, or might have acquaintance because he became the ambassador here, Siddhartha Shankar Rai. The Siddhartha Shankar Rai, he was at that time the chief minister of West Bengal. He sometimes used to come. And that day, I do not know, yes, probably he rang Maharaj, Maharaj would like to meet. He and Mrs. Both of them came. And they had some talk. And as usual, being chief minister, he was just expressing his success and credit where he has been successful. So all these points he was saying. And Bharat Maharaj was simply, patiently listening to all these things. All of a sudden, Bharat Maharaj said, "Oh, you considered yourself too big and too intelligent." Only this. Then he became a bit nervous. Have you marked this point? He will say, no, I have not seen that side of this things, situation. You should be, since you are the chief minister, you should take care of all the aspects. And the next action, what he did, that was very much touching. That day, Siddhartha Shankar Rai, who was having some diarrhea, so naturally he would not take anything, prasad or anything. But Bharat Maharaj simply, I have kept something for you. You take it. It will do good. What was that? That was some barley. Simply barley with lemon, and he kept ready in a flask. And he simply poured that barley in the glass, and you take it, it will do good for you. He was simply just looking, so puzzled that a monk of that stature can have this sort of motherly touch. It was something unique for him. I have seen this Bharat Maharaj, another incident comes to me in mind. This, some of you, those who are Bengalis, they know that's Ananda Bazar Patrika. That's a daily newspaper. It is having very good circulation and popular Patrika. So that newspaper editor, Ashok Sarkar, he was. His wife was the student of Nivedita. So that Ashok Sarkar, occasionally he used to come and meet Bharat Maharaj and come to Belur Math, and sometimes send some garlands for Thakur. For pretty few months he was absent. All on a sudden, Bharat Maharaj asked me, if you please put the phone to Ashok. And it was night time at 10:30, something like that. It was ringing, and Ashok, why you are not coming? You have not given garland to Guru Maharaj for so many days. It is not good. You come and give. Just a commanding voice. Good. And next day itself, Ashok Sarkar came with folding hands, and he said, Maharaj, you have got so much concern for us. That's the thing. Another, accidentally it flashes in my mind. One young lady, she came, and that was probably some festival day or something. So many are doing pranams in queue. Hurriedly, they are finishing and going. All of a sudden, one lady, hardly maybe 30, 35, she said, Maharaj, you could not recognize me. Maharaj immediately asked her, what about that hatchery? She started some hatchery, and she startled, and she forgot because she gave it up. She gave it up. So that this concern for the devotees, that is this aspect I could see. One day, by the way, I told Bharat Maharaj, Maharaj, We have read in the books that Baburam Maharaj, he used to move around and see all activities of mott, but you do nothing. I think you do nothing. You simply sit here and you command, and nothing, you do nothing. Then he simply kept silent, became serious. What? Your brain is off. You are comparing with whom? Baburam Maharaj, he is God. And with him can you compare me? So that's so how their devotion to Baburam Maharaj, that is something very touching. That can ennoble person immediately. Now I would like to mention something about Prabhu Maharaj, Biresharanji. Prabhu Maharaj, Biresharanji, he was also a very loving soul. I remember, at that time I was the headmaster at Devghar. There was some Golden Jubilee celebration, so many programs were there. Naturally, being the headmaster, I had to, something like manager, I had to be awfully busy. So once I came and did pranams, but I could not find time. One day I was passing, simply he called me. You come and sit here. What purpose? He asked me to sit, and he was enjoying hubble bubble. Looking at me, and I was also sitting, 10-15 minutes. So I felt a little restless because I have got so many other things to be done. So he was keeping me there tight. So I was feeling a bit restless. Then he said, "See, I know that you have so many duties, but you won't find time to sit before me. That's the reason I am come just holding you here." So just a thing, just like the mother. Nothing else, no communication, no business, nothing of the sort. Even today I just feel that moment when I sat before him without any communication. One day, I remember that was our Sunnasa celebration. After celebration, those who are the candidates, they get the opportunity to meet the president. So we are in the group. There was that question answer going on. By the way, I put an embarrassing question. Embarrassing question was this: Maharaj, you being some heads or executives, certainly you have to take so many decisions. Are you sure that all your decisions are correct? That was my question. Very nagging question. So, and he replied, even apparently if it is incorrect, but that will do good to him. I said, Maharaj, if you don't mind, how? Then he said, see, we have got no personal agenda or personal ideas about anybody. On the basis of the records, we take our decision. So, if it falls, suppose some wrong decision also has been given, in that case he will be spiritually benefited. He will be spiritually benefited. That's the thing, and it solves so many our problems. I could find, especially in my personal life, I have been very much benefited by this instruction. I remember one, because I heard it from one Shivak of Virajananda Maharaj. Anadi Maharaj, he was the Shivak of Virajananda Swami. One or two incidents I like to mention. Once, Vishuddhananda Maharaj, at that time he was the vice president, and Virajananda Maharaj was the president of the order. Vishuddhananda Maharaj, he has come from Ranchi, say covering more than 350 or 400 kilometers far up. And in those days it was difficult, it was very much strenuous journey. in the train to cover so much of distance. Everybody gets exhausted. He heard that Birijananda Maharaj was not so well, so he came to meet Birijananda Swami. After coming a little bit to wash, he came to meet Birijananda Swami in the evening. When he met, Birijananda Maharaj first asked him, Vishuddhananda Maharaj, Birijananda Swami's age was probably nearing 80, and he will be only 4 years or 5 years junior to him. So, have you taken, Birijananda Swami asking Vishuddhananda Maharaj, the moment he touched his feet, have you taken anything? No, Maharaj, after coming here, I have washed my feet and I have come to meet you. Why not have taken anything? No, Maharaj, now this Arati is going to start. After Arati, I shall take something. No, you did not take so much of strain. You are a small boy. You are a small boy. You feel hungry. You take food. It matters little. You need not wait for Arati and all the things. First you take food, afterwards you do all these things. So this I can say, there's a motherly concern. Another incident, this is also regarding Birijananda Swami. One day, his sevak, attendant, night time he will say good night. So he arranged the mosquito curtain and everything arranged, water and whatever Maharaj may require, night time, everything arranged, he was going to say good night. Just at that moment, he could find that one mosquito is in the mosquito curtain. Now, to see the mosquito in the mosquito curtain, he was in a very confused position, what to do. The mosquito is inside, he cannot leave it because Maharaj will have to sleep there. So he was chasing the mosquito and it is a guru's bed, so he cannot go in. So he was chasing the mosquito. So they said this cat and rat match was going on. So to see his plight, Birijananda Swami told him, see, it is none of your business. You call Anadi. Anadi is another attendant. You call Anadi. He will solve the problem. So Anadi was called. Anadi came. Anadi, here is a mosquito inside. Do something. So Anadi, what he did, he lifted the mosquito, went into the bed, simply stood up, made it, and simply came out and did pranam and left. So this is the thing. That means this, if you have the sincere love for the man, in that case, all these factors will become secondary and immaterial. Then that type of thing, we should be very practical. We should be just, as well as love and devotion. I remember, at what time I had to stop. Son said, all right. Gahananda Maharaj, about him I'd like to share something. Gahananda Swami, one day he was invited in one center. At that time he was a vice president, and I actually took the just initiative. So in a private center, it was not our recognized center, in a private center he was to come and give initiation. He went, and as usual, the devotees were doing pranams. One small boy came, and when everybody's pranam was over, that small boy came, and he handed over 2 toffees, chocolates, in his hand, and instructed him, go and give your mother. So the boy gave his mother, and then again came to Maharaj for the chocolate. Then Maharaj handed over 2 chocolates and told him, go and give your father. Then the boy did it, again came back. Then Maharaj said, go and give this man, that man, something. And the boy is giving and becoming gradually impatient because he is share. Ultimately, then when he came, just a handful of chocolates, he handed over to him. I found that this is a somehow beautiful education he gave. Then at first you are to give each and everybody, but without making any fuss. The instruction, the methodology, that was very much appealing to me. Another incident which happened in my own life, once, because at that time I was the secretary of the institution, so many problems generally come. There was some problems were there. To consult affairs, I went to meet him. He was at that time the Assistant General Secretary. So many persons are coming. Naturally, he was not finding any time for me. Then he proposed, one thing you can do. I am going to some place, Seva Pratishthan, that is 25 miles far. Can you accompany me in the car? So in the car itself, we shall finish the business. In the car, I stepped in. In the meantime, another senior Swami also stepped in. And he just took my share. So I had to go along with him, but without getting my business done. So after reaching there, when I reached there, it was already by that time he had so many other problems. So they came and finished up, and I was just waiting, and by that time it came up at 11 p.m. So, and I was dozing. To see my condition, he said, go and you sleep there. When I shall be free, I shall call you. So, all right, I immediately took that opportunity. I went and started sleeping. And he then nursed me, and I came up. Then we finished our talk. Then I slept. I had to catch my train again next day morning at 6 a.m. So I had to get up 4 a.m. I got up just after ablutions and everything. I was going to come out. I was surprised to find the man, he himself, with a cup of milk and toast. He was waiting there. He was waiting there. First you take it and leave. So this, he himself probably slept probably at 1 a.m. or something like that. But again at 4 a.m. he again woke up. Some instructions I got from one, he was a disciple of Raja Maharaj, Shuren Maharaj, Prakashananda ji. Once I visited him at Konkhal Sevashram, not Konkhal, Konkhal, Dehradun, there. There, he is to just talking with me so many things. And by the way, he said me one thing. He was shaving at that time. And I was standing talking with him. By the way, he said, see, I have this blade. This blade, after my shaving, I can cut the pencil also. But if I cut the pencil and afterwards, I cannot shave with the same blade. Have you understood what I mean? I said, that means this japam, my mind, should be utilized for japam and meditation first. Then that mind, with that mind, you can use it for other activities. But if you use the mind first activities, and then you think of doing japam, it won't be purposeful. So this is just a small instruction. And this same man, while he was in Varanasi, and that time he became almost blind also. I went and met him. Maharaj, how are you? A beautiful answer he gave. Whatever work or karma I have done, now I am simply reaping its result and nothing else. What else I shall do? There's a mind was, instantly I asked and instantly promptly he replied. So what a sort of detachment he has developed and in his whole mental frame. Now, I would like to share with one or two incidents about Premishananda Maharaj. Of course, I had to mention last night also. Premishananda Swami and Vishuddhananda Maharaj. Vishuddhananda Maharaj was the vice president, but Premishananda Maharaj, he did not hold any designation. He was neither trustee nor the head, nothing of that. He did not have any social recognition, but spiritually he was acclaimed to the whole organization as some high position. Everybody had love and regards for him. The Vishuddhananda Maharaj, he also had some love and regards for Premishananda Maharaj. At the instruction at the request of or prayer of Premishananda Maharaj, he agreed. Vishuddhananda Maharaj agreed to come to Sargachi. It was a very remote place. No electricity was there at that time. So he agreed to come and to give initiation. Then immediately after initiation, Vishuddhananda Maharaj used to come down and talk to Premishananda Maharaj. And that was some very spiritual environment, vibration it would generate. He's coming down and straight going to him and you tell him, Premishananda, how are you? That was the thing. How are you? And he also, how are you? This was their just language of communication. And nobody is waiting for the reply to come. So, this is how are you and how are you? And afterwards, Vishuddhananda Maharaj say, see, when I give initiation, at that time I feel myself so blessed because I am getting the opportunity to offer to Guru Maharaj so many beautiful flowers. So many beautiful flowers. Because those persons who are coming for Guru Maharaj, they are some selected persons. They are not coming for name, fame, material benefit, comforts, anything. They are all coming for the love of God. So I feel myself sincerely blessed that this type of precious, beautiful flowers I am getting. And they developed this sort of relationship. One day there was some flower, beautiful garlands, and garland was given to Vishuddhananda Maharaj. That garland was very beautiful. Then he looked at, see, it is a very beautiful flower. So you better take it and give it to Premishananda. Go and give it. So some person he gave and brought that garland to Premishananda Maharaj. And Premishananda Maharaj said, what is what? Well, Maharaj has sent you. Maharaj has sent. Immediately he took it on his head. This is his blessings. His blessings. Vishnananda Maharaj, he became the president of the order. When he became the president of the order, he was writing a letter to Premesh Maharaj. In that letter, he is addressing to, in that letter he mentioned that offer my pranams to Premeshananda. Now, Premeshananda Maharaj was much junior to him, and he is the president of the whole order. Naturally, there is no question of president offering pranams to a junior monk, and that is also neither of the trustee or anything. But he said, offer my pranams. Then that Shevak, he said, Maharaj, how is it possible? It cannot be. You are the president. How can we offer your pranams to Premeshananda Maharaj? Do what I am asking. You need not just poke your nose. So what to do? He had to write. Then what was the reply from Premeshananda Maharaj? He replied him back that he has offered me pranam, means the Prakishta Nam. Prakishta means this name which is the supreme name that he has given me. What is the supreme name? That supreme name, it is Ramakrishna Nam. So, he being the president, he is reminding me to take the name of Ramakrishna Nam always. So he gave this interpretation and sent the letter to him. So now, Vishnananda Maharaj, when he got that letter, reply, so he called the Pandits. Hey Pandits, say, come, we shall have to again reply him back. So how, in which language should we write to him? Then he wrote him back in this way. In those who have read Kathamrita, this gospel, you will be knowing that Guru Maharaj is saying that K-A is equal to Ka. If afterwards again put another A, what it will be? It will be only Ka. So Holy Mother has already given you the name, Ramakrishna Nam. So in that case, what I am to add? So what I have given, that is right and that is proper. So in that way, the duet was going on between them. That was their spiritual exalted relation. How you can just scan or analyze all these things. One day he was, after giving initiation, he was telling Premesh Maharaj, you see, this time just now I am coming from giving initiation from Shillong. While I came at that time, on the station, so many people have come, and they were some of them even shedding tears. I was feeling puzzled. I was thinking that what value I have got. I am a penniless person, and that farthingless person, Guru Maharaj has exalted me to such a high pedestal. And you just think of Sri Ramakrishna himself is coming from this Kamarpukur to Kolkata, Dakshineshwar. So what would be the picture? He is coming and Hridaya is following him with a lantern and one mat. That, and in a bundle, this mudi and puffed rice or flattened rice chira. With that they are coming. And in contrast to that, what sort of ovation we are getting. This is the magic of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, he has put every one of us to a very, very high level. About Madhavananda Maharaj also, Premeshananda Maharaj had this sort of relation. There, Madhavananda Swami, he was designated as the president of the order. He went to Shargachi, where Premeshananda Maharaj was there, to take his guidance or some instructions. While he went there, Premeshananda Maharaj was hard of hearing in one side, and Madhavananda Maharaj was hard of hearing in another side. So they said, you arrange our seat in such a way that we can understand. each other. And not only that, then immediately both of them uttered their reference from the gospel. That is, in Bengali it is Bideshini and Virohini. Bideshini means who is remaining in foreign countries alone, and Virohini means who is remaining alone without the consort. So we are as if of that position. One is Bideshini, another is Virohini. So that was the first initial turn of joking. Then he said, Maharaj, one question I am having. What is that? Prema Maharaj asked him, what is that question? He said, I did not disturb Thakur for all this position. But then why this thing has come on me? Then Prema Maharaj remained a little silent, then said, are you sure that you did not disturb Thakur? Well, no, I have never disturbed Thakur for all these things. Then, all right, but we have disturbed him. But we have disturbed him. We want that you should be the president. So Thakur has responded to our call. So then immediately Maharaj, with folded hands, he said, oh, this is the order of the Sangha. So order of the Sangha, so I must accept this thing. So that was this relation, and that is our organization. And with that organization, we devotees all are meeting together. Thank you. If anybody, certainly. Any question? You have got your reply? You have got the reply? Well, that will.
Maharaj, when you look out on our country as you travel among us, what do you see?
To see the country has so many. Initially I have told that how it was started and today where it has been. I am very optimistic, and I find this a movement has started. This American Vedanta, that word, a big book has come up, and so many words are percolating. Now these thoughts are going, and this Parliament of Religions we are going to attend. I am finding that American big shots, they are taking part in it. Day before yesterday, we had a meeting at Austin. There, some brains of the city, Dallas. The brains of the city, they came, arranged, and everybody, they were talking so high about. That means this Vedantic concept, this is a non-sectarian concept, that has become some necessity of the whole world. And only one point I focused on them, that you are thinking of this the liberal Catholic outlook is required in the society, but along with it, I think you have got another social responsibility. That's the responsibility for the future generations of America. I think because this technical advancement and so much of this information galore, this how the next generations can be just channelized in the proper form. That we should think in the university and the government level, everywhere. Publication, some literature, journals, through all the things, we should think about our future generations. Otherwise, what will happen, this hippie movement, like another movement will start. And there will be some setback for the whole nation. Because after all, they will be the custodian of the whole culture. So I'm optimistic, very much optimistic. I find it so. Though I could not just mix with the society in details, but from the pulses and those who are mixing, to see them. Any question? So, finished.